Hey guys, Classcomer here. You know what always makes me feel better after working 6 days in a row? Playing some Zelda. This day, we are going to be doing a slightly different thing. We're doing a standard opening, Keysanity, all dungeon seed. The way this differs greatly from the previous one is basically in every way. Since it's standard, it's gonna have the... Okay. Not expecting to see that there. It's extra standard. Like vanilla lamp, when you won't even necessarily need the lamp right away. But anyhow, because it is standard, you have the traditional opening. You have the uncle leaving, you have to go into the castle to save Zelda, take her through the escape sanctuary. But because it is still randomizer, and it's Keysanity, not only will the items be different, but you can find keys, maps, and compasses outside of their dungeons now. And because I put randomized swords on, Uncle here will have a weapon. This time it was a sword. That's kinda boring. I shouldn't complain though, because having a sword early on is still really helpful. Alright, this is definitely randomized. That would have been Blue Rupee if it wasn't randomized. I was starting to get a little worried, even though I'm playing with a Ninja Turtle sprite. You guys should probably already know, but yeah, I am kind of a fan of Ninja Turtles. Grew up on the old 1989 cartoon of them, and I can't really vouch for its quality these days, but just as a cultural icon, I still like the Ninja Turtles. And what's really cool about Randomizer is they have all these extra sprites you can play as, so, we decided to get someone in here that isn't Link. And, as we find the males, we'll change from Mikey to other turtles. So, that's a fun little effect. Stay tuned for some of that. The other weapons we could have gotten for the randomized opening here could have been any weapon capable of killing the guards at the checkpoints. You need to be able to kill not just the green guards, also blue guards and a chain ball wielding guard. So a sword is, of course, possible, but we could have gotten a bow with 30 arrows, hammer, fire rod, but not ice rod, because I don't think ice rod actually works in the blue guards, or it instantly kills them, and it only freezes the guards at the green ones, which won't kill them, and then you can't progress. But we could have gotten the fire rod that would one-shot anything. You only get 8 shots of it though. They fully fill your magic meter, and then you just gotta conserve. You gotta make it work with just that 8 shots of the fire rod. There we go. Sorry, I had to concentrate, make sure I spaced that out correctly. Oh, sure I'm getting a lot of money. 10 bombs is a new addition to the game, and the uncle can give you just 10 bombs. Set you on your way. You better hope you can use those 10 bombs effectively. It's possible. It's one of the more difficult openings. The Can of Samaria is also a possible randomized sword starting weapon. You can do worse, like the Can of Burna. You barely have enough magic with the Can of Burna to use it effectively through this, and it only does sword damage, like level 1 sword, but has magic meter tied to it, so it's not infinite. Probably the hardest start in the game. Personally, I'm totally okay with getting the sword. I really wanted to get the bow or the hammer for, just the progression that they give. But the sword isn't bad. A little boring, especially since I was trying to show off the differences, but, well, work with what you're given. I'm not going to re-roll seed after seed after seed until I get something else. Also, it's kind of interesting that I got sword. If I were paying more attention at the start, we would have seen Uncle carrying the sword out of the house. That's the dead giveaway that you're going to get the sword right away. And it also is supposed to be a lot less common. They did a tournament with this setting, not the Keysanity part of it, but the other bits to the setting, the standard randomized sword opening. I think it was the spring of 2017. Ooh, flippers! We can go check all the water stuff when we get out of here. But yeah, those were interesting races, even though by the end of it we got a little bored of seeing the castle escape over and over and over. Because by then everyone worked out a good route and there was kind of no variability. Oh, I missed the rat. I don't know which one it is now. Wasn't that? It typically starts up here, but yeah, it slipped by me and I didn't notice. That's okay. Since I'm also doing Keysanity, I expect this to take a lot longer than normal. And I'm doing all dungeons, which means not just doing the 7 crystal dungeons in Gan's Tower, it also means doing the pendant dungeons, but it also means going up the Hyrule Castle Tower and meeting Agnem there. If you don't complete all of those dungeons, every single boss, before going to fight Ganon, at the end of the game, he's going to call you a dingus and you're not going to be able to actually damage him, even if you've got every item you need. It's a change, it's a different thing. Kind of the biggest reason why I'm doing this. Oh, okay. That's nice to see. So, my routing isn't going to depend as heavily on where the crystals are, because it kind of doesn't matter. If anything, I would like to save doing the 2 towers, the Castle Tower and Ganon's Tower, for the end. Especially if I have the mirror. Because once you finish Ganon's Tower, you know, the game puts you on top of the pyramid in Dark World, which is basically where the Hyrule Castle Tower is. So if you have the mirror, you can just take a couple steps down, use the mirror, go straight up Agnem's Tower, beat it, and it takes you to that same spot again, and you're ready to drop in and beat Ganon. So we'll see if we can do that, but right now we're just trying to find all the keys and items that we're going to need. Which is another thing, because it is a Keysanity run. All the maps, compasses, small keys, and big keys for every dungeon have been mixed in with everything else. That's why I'm finding compasses in these chests. Additionally, on the map, if I were to open it in the overworld, you don't get to see what the dungeons are unless you found their maps. So let's take a look. Oh look, I don't have any maps. Also my icon's a slice of pizza. It's super appropriate. So, you're kind of just going to have to go to the dungeons when you can beat them and not worry too much, especially since it's all dungeons. That's another reason why I made it all dungeons, not just the beat Ganon. I want to pair that up with Keysanity because then I don't have to worry so much about where I'm going and when I'm doing it. It's just a matter of doing it all. Exhaustively. Cool, Compass Tower of Hera. That compasses don't really help that much. When I get into a dungeon and I have the compass for it, I'll have a counter for how many of the items I've found in the dungeon. Woohoo, check and clip. Oh. Yes, good. Another thing is in the menus, I can see how many keys I found for each dungeon. I'll check that next time I need to actually switch my items. I haven't found a bottle yet, no. Okay, well, in the bottom, HC is Hyrule Castle, AAT is Aghanim Tower, then we've got the 3 Light World dungeons, the 7 Dark World dungeons, and Ganon's Tower. Small key, big key icon, if you hold select, you get maps and compasses. It's a neat little thing, and it helps you keep track of everything without actually needing to have a tracker open. What is important to remember is how many keys each dungeon has. I mostly remember. Some of them, I know I won't need all the keys for the dungeons, because, like, Skullwood's keys are generally useless. Oh great, there's a small key there. I'll want to come back when I've got the boots. But Palace of Darkness, there's 6 keys to the Palace of Darkness. If you know how to do a special bomb jump and don't open the front door, you can get through it with only 4 keys. I don't know how to do that special bomb jump, but since I've got the bow, I can avoid opening that front door. So once I've got 5 keys to the Palace of Darkness, I'll be good to go. Man, only a piece of heart. In Keysanity runs, I always do the maze race without checking it, because the higher chance of having something you need, like a small key or a big key, could be there. I don't really have a reason to walk over to the water. And what's nice is I don't need to worry about going back up to my uncle's. I can just move right along. Unfortunately, because I don't have the big key to Eastern Palace yet, I can't just go in there and do it. Oh, additionally, I didn't put any kind of animizer on this one, so the logic will be a little bit easier to follow. The bosses will be where they should be, and none of the enemies have their stats randomized. You can't even actually randomize the normal enemies with a standard opening, because they want to make sure that the guards are in the castle so you can actually beat them. Sasrahala will still tell us where the green pendant is, and it's vanilla. That's really weird. Getting vanilla lamp, and vanilla green pendant, and vanilla sword. Another Dark Palace key. I was hoping to find money, honestly. I guess I'm just going to plan the double dip the Eastern Palace, because it's a Sphere 0 check. You don't need any items to get in there. I may as well just go ahead and do it. If I get really lucky and find the big key in there, then I'll go ahead and beat it. But more than likely, I'm just gonna go in there and get all the chests except for the boss and the big chest. And since all the keys and everything have been moved to outside of the dungeons, that means every chest could have something valuable. You can't just go, okay, I know I have gotten, enough keys to beat the dungeon. Or you can't just count the chests that you open and go, okay, cool, I got everything but the map and compass, and there's only the boss and one more chest. I can skip that last chest. That doesn't happen in Keysanity. You will want to go and check everything until you're actually in go mode. So, we're going to enjoy a nice leisurely stroll through Eastern Palace, where we're hopefully going to find some kind of progression, or at least enough money that I can go and do Zora. Another Dark Palace, or Palace of Darkness small key. I think that gets me up to 3 of them. So, more than halfway there. Too bad I don't have the hammer for Dark World access. but those will come in time, I think. They should, at least. Unless I just completely whiff it and can't figure anything out. Yeah! Fast room! Much easier for me to do when I've got the Master Sword. Oh, look at that! Already worth coming in here. Map is above the foes, so I don't need to check the graveyard ledge because I don't really need the maps for any of the dungeons. All it would really tell me is what that dungeon has at the end of it, and since it's an all dungeon seed, it doesn't really matter. The 5 and 6 crystal are slightly more valuable than the other crystals, and the green pendant is slightly more valuable than the other pendants because they still unlock more items. But beyond that, very much does not matter. Yeah, I guess I'll take the magic. No way I can actually use the lamp if I ever want to. Almost to this vanilla big key chest, which, I mean, sure, let's just cross our fingers for actual vanilla big key, right? Because that's totally going to happen. Yep. That's just preordained. Going to be there. Quit jumping away from me. I don't have the health to really want to try and do the fast skip for this room. Hey, money! What'd they get me to? Just enough. Awesome. Alright. We're going south route now. We are going to go down to the well. Get whatever we can get inside the... Or not the well. That's what my roommate keeps calling it. It's not the well, it's the dam. We've already been to the well. We're going to go down to the dam. Get the item inside... Oh, full magic. The item in, the item out, go to Mini Moldorm, get the 5 items over there, and then go jump in the lake. I may as well go to the ice cavern as well. That's a whole lot of Palace of Darkness keys all at once. Just like sequentially here, have another Palace of Darkness key, and another Palace of Darkness key, and another Palace of Darkness key. Have all the keys to go into the Palace of Darkness well before you actually have access to the dungeon. Ooh, blue potion. It means next time I go back over to the village, I can see the sick kid and get something. I never checked this because... Wait, I didn't go to the Lost Woods Stall, did I? No, I didn't. Well, we'll do that next time we're over there. That's a really odd routing divergence for me. I almost always go straight into the Lost Woods after doing Sanctuary. Oh, why? That just slipped my mind. Not that it terribly matters. Oh no, the hearts! Whatever will I do? Great. Woohoo! Okay. We'll be able to find out what Mire is early. Wow, this was the worst Mini Moldorm cave I have seen in a long time. That was just terrible. I really wish that I had a hookshot or a boomerang, because then I can stun prize enemies and at least more easily deal with the electric pickles. I don't know what they're actually called, and calling them electric pickles makes me happy. So they are electric dancing pickles. These crabs are still incredibly dangerous. Being on green mail and only having 3 hearts, they would kill me in 2 shots. Even if I had my other missing heart, they'd still kill me in 2 shots because they do 2 damage a hit. And there's a bug catching net. I can now catch fairies!